everyone. Oh, that's a bit high. That's better. My name is Nicola. I am simply a stitcher. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, it's wonderful to have you. And if you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming and spending some more time with me today. So today I'm doing my weekly Flosstube update where I share with you the projects that I have been working on over the last 7 days. I did an awful lot of stitching this week. I had a self-care weekend where things have been getting a little bit on top, and I'll go into a little bit later on. So I spent the weekend stitching, and in 2 days I actually got 5,000 stitches done. But this week in total I have done a total of 12,000 stitches, which I'm really happy about. It's a good chunk of progress. I've worked on 7 projects. So yeah, it's been quite a good week. I'm not going to mess around. I am just going to get straight into what I have been working on, because as ever, as I film this, it is my meal break from work. So, you know, it is what it is. Right, so first piece I have worked on this week. It was out on a Stitch with Me, and it's this one. This is Bizarre Bookshelf, and it's by Colin Thompson and charted and kitted for me by Geckorouge. It was one of the earlier new starts this year, but it's still not a massive amount done on this one. I had 1,000 stitches I've done on it, which takes it up to 8,300 overall. We've just hit the 2% mark. It's gone from 1.79 to 2.04%. and it's had 1,000 stitches. So I've worked filling in on here and then continuing this row along here. 1/1 full cross 25 count, 1,000 stitches in the bag, which is exactly where this piece is going. It's going back in its bag. So there might be some zippy noises, really sorry if you're triggered by them. But yeah, so 1,000 stitches done, excuse me, on my Bizarre Bookshelf. Excuse me. Okay, I've got a bit of a dry throat today, so if I sound a bit odd, that's why. So the next piece I worked on was also out on a stitch. Yeah, also out on a Stitch with Me, and it's this one. This is Coastal, and again it's a Geckorouge. I had a Geckorouge week this week. Artwork by Roseanne Bell, chart and kit from Geckorouge. It's had 1,000 stitches. Okay, so again with this one, 25 counts, 1/1 full cross, 1,000 stitches. It was out on my Stitch with Me, 4.81 to 5.48%. So as you can see there, we've got a flower middle coming through. But yeah, I've just sort of carried on working along, and you know, slowly but surely. So 5% now on this piece, which you know really is a good milestone. I'm happy with that. So again, just pop it back in its bag. Try and keep things tidy where I can. Okay. Where is the next one? Ah, it's here. So the next one I worked on is again a Geckorouge. It's B. And this one is artwork by Lorna Laine, you know, chart and kit from Geckorouge. So yeah, a very popular design. Sorry, it seems like I'm pulling things out here. Okay, so B again is worked 1/1 full cross on some 25 count. Hard to show this one. And it's gone from 16.2, no, it's the wrong one. Hold on a second. 14.74 to 16.28%. I'm so sorry. Normally in a frame, but I've had to use a frame this morning. So I've worked on this part here and I've put in 1,000 stitches. I'm still really happy with progress on this one. It's coming up quite well, and yeah, I mean, it did have my it had 100 stitches a day a couple of months ago. I'd like to do that for all of them, but it's just not possible. So yeah, another 1,000, well yeah, another 1,000 stitches in on B. Okay, so the next one I worked on was out on my Sunday live stream. It was my Sunday stitch, and it's this one. So this is Evelina Charlton kit again by Geckorouge. It was a mystery kit last year, Halloween time. Needle mind has just dropped off. There we go. Okay, so this one was out, as I said, on my Sunday live stream, and throughout Sunday it actually had quite a lot. It had 2,100 stitches, and it's gone from 6.19 to 9.14%. so hopefully next time this one's out we will pass the 10% mark. This one is actually stitched on some 28 count fabric, 1/1 full cross. No idea how I ended up with 28 count, but never mind. So you'll see here I did quite a lot here. So all of these black archways and this black section up here, which I mapped and stitched, and some of the filling in between. So yeah, I think next time this one's out I want to try and find the top left corner. And you know, do the mapping for the black, so I can map out and work on the black when it's not being worked on for a stitch with me for a live stream or whatever. So that's that. Just take it out of its frame and put it away. Okay, so that was all. Really sorry there, grammar. That was all of my rotation pieces for this week. So those 4 were out in rotation, and then we had some extras for some of these pieces. So the next one that I want to show so sorry, it feels like I feel very disjointed today and I don't know why. Next one is my 100 stitch a day piece for Sunflower September, and again Geckorouge. This is Summer Sun, and it's a Leslie D. Mackenzie piece. So I've been doing 100 stitches a day, so at the end of September this piece will have had an additional 3,000 stitches. So you know, it will, you know, progress it somewhat. The theme of Sunflower September, so if you're in my Facebook group, I have a monthly sale. This one is Sunflower September for something bright and, you know, and colourful, because September can be quite a drab month. So Summer Sun has had 700 stitches, and it's gone from 7.53 to 8.16%, and as you can see there, we're getting some of the next orange line coming. And this is stitched 1/1 full cross on some 25 count. In case you haven't guessed, that is pretty much my sweet spot. If I do ever forget to say what I'm working on, how I'm working, it's all in the description box for the video. So yeah, happy with that. So Summer Sun will still continue to get 100 stitches a day until the end of the month. So the next one I have worked on is this one. No, it's not. It's this one. This is Night Cafe. The artwork is by Leonid Afremov and it's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So this one is a supersized max colour and it's just shy of 1 million stitches. 991,008 stitches to be exact. I am aiming to get this one to 12% by the end of the year. I am on track for that. So hopefully I will reach that, miniature sort of goal. It came out for Spare Stitch Saturday. So because I had Saturday with a case of chair buttitis and sat in my stitchy spot all day, I put in 2,000 stitches on this piece. So this is stitch 2/1 stitch on some 25 count. Now this one's gone from 10.75 to 10.95%. So as you can see, lots of greens and blacks. So after 2,000 stitches I'd had enough, as I'm sure you can tell. But the good news is that this one will be out on rotation this week. I'll be moving the hoop down and I will be getting it to over that 11% mark. So we're into the last 1% for the year. So another 10,000 stitches on this will get it to 12% by the year end, which is what I want. So that means that I need to fill in this, finish this block and predominantly fill in down to the end, which is about here where my little finger is, to get it to where I want it to be. So yeah, 2,000 stitches in. I was very happy to see the end of those 2,000 stitches, but you know. So the very last piece that I worked on, if you haven't already guessed, it is my focus for a finish. And I have moved the hoop on this one a little bit. So it is this piece. And this is, again, another Geckorouge. So the only one that isn't my Geckorouge this week is my Night Cafe. This is Witchy Cat, and it was a Halloween kit a couple of years ago. And I got it at the same time as I got the Christmas kit. So, a similar time, should I say. So with this one, I did move the hoop before. So last time that you saw it, you could see the hat of the cat and some of the top end of the moon. So I moved it down because I figured that I'd work on the bottom end of the moon for my live stream on Wednesday, but I would do some mapping and I would do some of the body because the body's in greys and purple and black. So I moved the hoop down. So this is the cat's collar here. So this is the collar ornament, which is now complete. On my live stream, I put in some of this. There's quite a number of shades of yellow here. I've also mapped the rest of the bottom end of the moon. But what I'm going to do this week is on my live stream, I'm going to go to this top point of the moon and work my way in. And then I'm going, during my non-streaming time, I'm going to work on the body of the cat. So I'm going to try and sort of do some mapping here because I go away next week and I'll take this one with me. But if I can get it mapped, I don't have to refer so much to Pattern Keeper. If I do manage to get the body mapped this week, great. What I'll do is I'll move the hoop back up and just finish off doing the rest of the moon up here. As you can see, I've still got some of the moon to do. So that is my plan with this one. We are still looking at the second, I think it's the second Wednesday of October live stream for this one to be finished because, as ever, I will finish it on the stream. It's worked 1/1 full cross on some 25 count. So my plan this week is mapping and body. The rest of the moon, or some of the moon from this top point down on the Wednesday stream. But I'm going to move the hoop later today so that I can focus. I can see the entire area of the cat's body within the hoop, so I can just do loads of mapping without having to worry about moving the hoop around. This one has had 4,200 stitches this week, so it's had did it have a bit more in the hat? Maybe, but it's had this bit here done, and it's had quite a bit of the body here done, and this bit, and of course all of this mapping here. So I am pleased with how it's coming out. You can see there the different colours in the cat's body. It's 33.27 to 43.77%, so I've added just over 10%. So yeah, if I'd have added in another 2,000 stitches on Saturday, you know, rather than work on Night Cafe, you know, I perhaps would have not wanted to work on this. It would have been too much. So I'm okay with just doing, you know, the 1,000 on Saturday, because when I got to 2,000 on my Night Cafe and I just had enough, I was like, yeah, I'm going to switch to the cat now. But yeah, so that's that. And that is all of the stitching. So 4,200 from the Witchy Cat makes to 12,000 altogether this week. Okay, so what is coming up on the channel this week? I have got, for my rotation stitches, I have got Sailing Fairy, which will be an ASMR style stitch with me. My chatty stitch with me will be with Daughter of the Deep. Night Cafe will get regular rotation stitches, hence knowing that it will get over that 11% mark this week. And of course, if I can pick up anything in Spare Stitch Saturday, I will do. And my Sunday stitch is an Unconventional X Stitch piece, the Gogh Never Passed, the one with CatDalph and the Balrog. Oh, I do beg your pardon. So that's my stitchy week incoming. If you've mentioned me, thank you very much. I haven't been an awful lot looking at Flosstube this week, in all honesty, because I've had stuff going on, which I'll get to in life in a minute. But just before I round off the stitching stuffs, I've had some stitch kindness. I had a bit of a day on Friday, and there was a knock on the door, and Lauren answered the door, and I went, you know, to it, and it was a parcel, and I thought, I'll have a look at that later. Went back to work, didn't think about it, opened the parcel later on, and I had two of the most gorgeous gifts in this parcel. So I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago I was gifted the most glorious project bag with a seahorse on it, because I have a seahorse pattern which I'm putting on the spinning wheel. It'll go back on the spinning wheel after my next pick. I've also been gifted this absolutely gorgeous needle minder. It's from Denkai Designs on I think they've got their own website, but I think they also have an Etsy. Yeah, Etsy and Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, I mean, this is it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's got a velvety button on the back as well. But yeah, that is just glorious. And then alongside it, again, this person knows me so well, is this little beauty. So a scissor fob, and this seahorse is made entirely of beads, of seed beads. And just look how fabulous it is. I just, you know, and it's got a lobster claw clip at the top as well. But oh my word, how gorgeous. So I shall be, you know, when I get ready to do my seahorse, I shall have everything, you know, that I need. Oh, holding him by his nose there. It's a bit rude, isn't it? I shall have everything that I need. I've got the bag, I've got the needle minder, I've got the scissor keep, you know, and I've got the pattern. So yeah, it's just fabulous. So thank you so much. It cheered me up after having a pretty lousy week. So that's it. That's all of my stitchy news, all my stitchy goodness. So if you're here just for the stitching, thank you so much. It really is an absolute pleasure to do these videos, but if you're not interested in hearing about life, then, you know, feel free to click away now, and thank you very much for dropping by. Please do leave me a like and a comment as well on the video. It's always good to hear your comments. So other stuff, life. Went to weight loss this week. I'd maintained. I was quite happy about that because I'm starting to get sort of back into it where the weight loss is concerned. So I'm hoping to have a loss this week. But again, if I don't, I'm not terribly upset. I'm not terribly concerned. The other thing that's happening is work. Work is, to put it mildly, work's difficult at the moment. I don't know if it's work or I don't know if it's me. As you guys who've been with me for a while will know, I do suffer from quite severe anxiety, which I'm medicated for. I have beta blockers. And I've been finding the anxiety's been really, really hard just lately, really difficult. It's been a lot more prevalent, and I don't know why. So I'm just not really coping so well. I'm in touch with my boss at work and, you know, keep her appraised of what's going on. I had some trouble last week with my ear. My ear was sort of oozing and I had a pain here in my jaw, and I figured I was brewing an ear infection, which didn't make me feel very good. So added on to that, you know, I had quite a lot going on. And I get it. I know I'm a lot more fortunate than a lot of people. I have a job. I have a stable job. I have a home, you know, and I have a lot more than, you know, a lot of people would wish for, and I absolutely truly understand that. But mentally, my mental health is, you know, I'm feeling a little bit on the fragile side at the moment, and I wish I didn't, and I don't know why. So I'm working my way through that. I'm hoping that, I mean, obviously I've got this week and then I'm off for a week, and I'm hoping that that will just clear my head a little bit and stop me from worrying, you know, quite so much. I hope, you know, that things will get better, but if they don't, then I've already said to my immediate boss about this. If things don't improve for me, if I don't start to settle, then I'm going to have to take stock and consider, is this really what I want? Do I really want to carry on doing this job, or do I want to make a sideways move or a move altogether? I'd love to be self-employed, but I can't do that. I don't have the finance, but also I don't have the know-how. And unfortunately, if I was just to dedicate my life to doing things like YouTube, it doesn't earn enough, not nearly enough. It's pin money at the moment, but it is what it is. So yeah, so things aren't wonderful in my head right now. Living in my head is not a pleasant place to be, but I'm hopeful that things will get better. We have to hope for things to get better. Like I said, I do appreciate and I fully understand that I am not in, overall, I am in a good position in my life, and I am grateful for that. I just wish that I felt inside me a little bit better about things. But it is what it is. But other than that, I'm going to end this video because there really isn't, you know, anything else that I can say. So I just want to remind you all that if you're not subscribed and you've just found me for the first time, please do hit that subscribe button. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. I like to answer your comments in my chatty stitch with me, because for me, typing out those comments takes my attention away from the needle and thread. So yeah, do please leave a comment. If you are interested in joining a Facebook group, the relevant link is in the description box below. We are doing a October sale, which will be Spooktober. So if you have a spooky stitch and you want a little bit of impetus to work on it, you know, by all means join the group. Please do, when you join the group, answer the questions, because if it's not evident that you are a stitcher, your request to join will be deleted. But yeah, I will release a Flosstube every Tuesday. I do a Stitch with Me on a Thursday and a Saturday, and a live stream at 7:30 p.m. UK time on Sundays and Wednesdays. So if you can join me for those, it would be appreciated. On a Sunday live stream, I usually work on my focus for a finish, unless I've had a new start. No, I don't. I usually work on my Sunday stitch unless I've had a new start. And on a Wednesday is when I work on my focus for a finish, which at the moment is the Witchy Cat. So thank you very much indeed, guys, for watching. Thank you for your time and for your attention. Please do take care. Happy stitching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye for now.